If you're looking to shoot more deer in the 2024-2025 bow season, this video is definitely going to be for you, because I'm going to go over a list of my couple top tips that I'm going to give you guys in order to have better success when you guys are bow hunting. So whether you're new or whether you're just really getting into it more and more, this video is definitely going to be for you. So let's get into it. So something that I think kind of goes, I don't want to say unnoticed, but that people don't really put enough time to it, is scouting. And the best way I can put it is scouting is 90% of hunting. If I had 10 days to hunt, I would take 5 of those to scout. You know, if you can figure out where deer are really comfortable, and there's 3 main things that you need to look for when you're actually scouting in order to find good deer habitat. And one of those is going to be food. If you can find a food source that they're hitting very commonly, very consistent, that's 90% of the ball game there. Water, they're going to need water. Deer drink up to 3 quarts of water a day, so that's another big one there. And cover, food, water, and cover. And if you can find all 3 of those in close proximity, unpressured, and that's part of that being, just get away from the pressure. If people, you don't want to go 100 yards away from the nearest parking lot on a public spot, or if you're right next to the road, get away from that pressure, and you're going to find more deer, and you're going to find more deer that are actually huntable and killable. If you just get into a place where you find deer that have food, water, and cover, and it's unpressured, there's going to be deer there. You just have to put your time in the stand, and I'll get onto that later. But just definitely find food, cover, water, and scout. Don't be afraid to go right now in the middle of the summer. That's why I'm doing this video now. So we have a couple months left before deer season opens up with a bow. Get as much scouting as you can, get as much information as you can, because oftentimes, more than not, if you get scouting in, you're going to kill a deer within the first couple sits if you know where those deer are being consistent and you know where they're traveling and going to and from. So definitely scout as much as you can. Just track their movements. If you're in a state that allows trail cameras on public land, definitely put those up, taking advantage of those, because scouting is 90% of the ball game when it comes to killing a deer with a bow, or any deer for that fact of the matter. Just know where those deer feel comfortable, know where their major food sources are, know where major water sources are, and know where their cover is, know where they're bedding at, know where they feel comfortable during the day and in those high pressure situations. The second tip that I'm going to give you guys is don't be afraid to be very, very cautious with your scent control and scent elimination. 90%, or I'd actually say 100% of the time, if you have good scent control process and you eliminate all of your scent, and yes, you can do that, and I can go over a full video of that for you guys. And I will go over a full video of that for you guys so you guys can see how I do it. But find something that works for you. I have a hard time believing in just playing the wind. Those guys that are wearing the same hunting outfit that they're wearing when they're going into the gas station to buy snacks and stuff like that. They're smoking cigarettes in it, and they're touching their steering wheel, and they're just soaking up so much scent. Deer live and deer die by their noses. I cannot stress that to you guys enough. And I'll throw in some clips as you guys watch this of deer that are directly downwind within less than 10 yards of me that have no idea that I'm there unless they see me. Sometimes I've had deer that see me but they can't smell me. I've had deer that I've actually physically killed with my bow that have seen me stand up and draw and tried to smell me, and they can't smell me, and they have no problem with me being there. Now the opposite of that goes, if I have a deer smell me, I would say 9.999 times out of 10, if a deer smells you, it's gone. And the problem with that is, and when deer know there's pressure in the area, they are very unlikely to come back to that area within a couple days, or sometimes ever. You can ruin a spot very quickly if you're not cautious about your scent control. So find a process that works for you. For me, I wash my clothes in no scent. I have regular street clothes like this that I wear in my truck, and then when I actually get to the parking lot of where I'm hunting or wherever I'm going to park my vehicle, I switch into my hunting clothes that are washed and stored in no scent bags, and then washed with no scent laundry detergent. I want to be as scent free as I can. That way, first and foremost, you don't have to worry about which direction the wind's coming from. If the wind's coming from the north and you're facing south, or vice versa, or whatever direction, if the wind's, deer are going to approach from every direction. I don't care who you are and who you think you are. If you think that, well, oh man, the deer are only going to come from the north, they're not going to come from the south. I've been hunting for a long time, and I've killed a lot of deer with a bow, and I've killed some, I'd like to say, fairly decent deer with a bow. And deer come from every direction. You can't control what direction deer are going to come from. You can predict it, but that's just what it is, a prediction. You don't know exactly where they're going to come from. If you have a major trail that you think they're going to come from, yeah, the likeliness of them coming down that trail, yeah. but that trail's coming from one way, but you got to think they're coming from the opposite way, and they're converging there for some reason. If you've done your scouting and you know why those deer are there, you know they're probably going to be coming from multiple directions. So definitely be mindful of your scent control and scent elimination, because that's going to make you a much better bow hunter. I went from shooting no deer to shooting a lot of deer very quickly just by eliminating my scent control process and my scent elimination. I don't care if you're wearing a high-vis orange suit and you're 10 feet off the ground. If you're no scent, you're doing 90% better than most average everyday bow hunters. And I'm not saying that I'm the elite bow hunter that's better than everyone. I'm just trying to give you guys the best tips so you guys can better yourself for this season and have better chances of success of actually getting a deer with a bow. This video pertains mostly to bow hunters, because that's mostly what I do. I haven't shot a deer with a rifle, or I can't say that I shot a deer last year with a rifle, but I haven't actually been rifle hunting in quite a long time. So I'm just giving you guys everything that I try to do with the bow. Never shooting a gun. But I just want you guys to have your best chances of success. Something else that I think you guys really need to pay attention to is get away from pressure. If you are hunting public land, you have to get away from pressure. Go to spots that you think are really hard to get to. If it's easy to get to, odds are it's going to be hunted by someone else, or it's going to have more than just one person's pressure on that specific area. If it's hard to get to, and if it's far away from a nearest parking lot, draw a 500-yard radius around any parking lot and don't even consider it. I hate to say that, and there's some caveats to that. If you see deer there consistently during the daylight hours that are right next to a parking lot, don't be afraid to hunt it. But just for a general rule of thumb, draw a radius with a big circle, 500 yards, which is 1,500 feet for you guys that don't know, of any parking lot. And don't even look at it. I hate to say that, but people are lazy. People want to go into the woods. They call themselves hunter, and I hate to say it like that, like I'm above them, but they just want something that's easy. They want to get in the stand and kill a deer. Don't be afraid to put in that work. If you're someone that really wants to be a dedicated hunter, don't be afraid to walk a mile in, mile and a half in. If you have access to a boat and a waterway to get you even further back up in there, to do that. If you have an e-bike that has trails that can get you even further than that, just use your resources and get as far away from that pressure as you can, because deer, as much as we pattern deer, deer pattern us too. I cannot express that enough. If deer can see where people are very apt to hunt, and they know where that pressure is, they're going to stay away from that. But if they feel comfortable, they're going to be more relaxed. Your odds of getting close in and getting that success rate up of killing a deer is going to go up considerably. So I just wanted to throw that tip in there as well. Don't be afraid to go in to where nobody's going to go. Get back up in there in those thick spots where it's hard to get to, and you guys will have a lot better chance of killing a deer. Another tip that I want to give you guys is stay in the stand. You cannot kill them from the couch. You cannot kill them from the truck. It's been so many times where I have been in the stand and I'm like, man, I'd like to go home and I'd like to watch the football game, or I'd like to do whatever I want to do. Stay in the stand. You have to stay in the stand, because you never know when it's going to happen. It could happen at each and any moment. It could happen, within the first 5 minutes of legal shooting light. It can happen in the last 5 minutes of legal shooting light. You just can't predict when it's going to happen, and it can happen at any moment. It can go from a very slow day to being a great day that you're telling stories about to your buddies very quickly within the turn of a dime. So it can happen at any time. Something that I like to tell myself is I like to set, if I'm hunting in the early season, I like to hunt till about 11 to noon. That's a really good midpoint. If I'm hunting during the rut, I'm gonna hunt all day if I can. If I can hunt dark to dark, I'm going to. If I'm after a buck, I'm gonna try to hunt dark to dark until I fill that tag. If I'm hunting, in the early season or the late season where I've already filled my buck tag and I'm just wanting to shoot some does, maybe you don't have to hunt all day, but I'd like to put a specific time where I want to see deer. If I say, hey, I want to hunt till 11 o'clock today, and if I don't see a deer by 11 o'clock, I'm like, hey, maybe they're not moving through here in the morning. Maybe I'll go get lunch, take another shower, and hop back out in this tree stand in a different stand location that I have. But don't be afraid to hunt as much as you can. Hunt, because that's how you fill the tags, and don't eat tag soup. I can't stress that enough, so just don't be afraid to hunt, because you never know when they're going to show up. So that's one thing I wanted to give to you guys. Last thing I have for you guys today is just try to learn something new, whether it's how you enter and exit the stand, how deer act around that specific spot. Just try to learn something new every time that you go hunting, and your 2024-2025 deer season will be great. So with that being said, I hope everyone's doing super well. I just wanted to give you guys this video. If you guys got information out of this video and liked it, leave me a like, subscribe, and I'll see you guys in the next video.